The damage was repaired in the capital, but if we're being honest, Lee Johnson shouldn't have been allowed on the plane home. Welcome back, guys, to Son of Scotland TV. Hibernian have got through. They have defeated the Andorran side, Interclub de Escaldes, by 6 goals to 1 at Easter Road, and it gives them a 7-3 win on aggregate. I've seen a lot of people praise Hibs for tonight's performance. I've seen a lot of people praise Hibs for the scoreline, including pundits and commentators. And I personally don't get it. This does not take away from the fact that last week was an absolute embarrassment. And they might have got through at the end of the day, but they've cost Scotland some much-needed coefficient points. There's just no way that teams like Hibs should be losing to Interclub. I don't care if it's in Scotland, Andorra, if they played them on the fucking moon. They shouldn't be losing to an outfit like this. And essentially a pub team. They've conceded 3 goals against this Andorran side, and I wouldn't give me much hope and faith if I was a Hibs fan going into this upcoming season, because you're conceding 3 against this team. I'd say you're in trouble. But if we're being honest, Hibs were never in trouble tonight. Although what I will say is, the last 15 minutes, Interclub were the better side, and they were creating a lot of good opportunities, and they could have got quite a few goals tonight. Maybe 6-1's a bit harsh, considering the chances Interclub had at the end. They could have easily got 2 or 3 there. They only got 1. Hibs had issues with the goalkeeper, ended up using their third choice keeper, which isn't ideal. But he made 1 or 2 saves, so I mean, fair play to him. The goals came from Boyle twice, Doidge, Campbell twice, and Johan on the 65th minute. I kind of thought Hibs would have added more to that when they went 6-0, because they were in complete control. But look, it wasn't about winning and blowing this team at the water, although that's what Hibs should be doing. The main thing for Hibs was getting through and making up for what happened last week. Did they make up for it? Look, they've won. They've got past the tie, but they've, like I said, they've lost crucial coefficient points. And if we want Scotland to be up where it is, if we want Scotland to remain one of the top nations in European competition, then we need to be picking up every single coefficient point as possible. And I think all the teams outside of Celtic and Rangers, hell, even sometimes Celtic and Rangers are guilty of it, but especially outside the Old Firm, the Scottish clubs just lose way too many games. I understand not every season should Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen, these teams, whatever, be getting to the group stages. I'm not saying that, but over the last 10 years, we've seen too many sides lose and exit competitions at rounds way earlier than they should, and Hibs should have got 2 wins in this tie before moving on to the next round. They've got like 1 win, whatever, but I think if you look at it, it's like 100, is it like 0.1? I think it's like 0.100 coefficient points, and that could add up. So yeah, just embarrassing that Hibs never got both wins. At least they're through, at least they're into the next round or whatever. It's good for Scotland, but nah, still think last week's result was unacceptable. But you know what, Scotland remain after the second qualifying round. We have 5 teams left in Europe. After last season, we only had 4 teams left in Europe, thanks to Motherwell and that fucking embarrassing double defeat to Sligo Rovers. So at least Hibs are doing better than Motherwell. Fair play to them. Now, Dundee United, we know how they got on last year. A big win in their opening game against Acer Alkmaar. It all went horribly wrong after that. But I feel like Hibs and Hearts are probably going to need to produce a Dundee United-esque performance at home if they are going to get past the next round and into the playoffs. It remains to be seen whether either side can do it. We know Aberdeen come into the playoffs, they're guaranteed group stage football. Celtic are already in the Champions League. Rangers next week will take on Servette. Hearts will take on Rosenborg. It has been confirmed after they edged out Crusaders. And I believe Hibernian are travelling to Sweden to take on Djurgården. So yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. Am I convinced that all the Scottish teams will be standing in 2 weeks' time? Unfortunately, no, I am not. I'm not convinced at all, but I think there's a decent chance. I think Rangers will go through. The fact that Rosenborg struggled to beat Hearts, I think, struggled to beat Crusaders, sorry, I think Hearts can go through. And I do think if Hibs get it right against Djurgårdens, I think they can beat them, but the playoff round's really going to be the one where, you know, I think Hibs and Hearts are kind of needing a miracle, because some of the boys you can get in that, some of the teams, man, that are in that playoff round, it's fucking scary. There's some clubs in there that are just like got 10, 15 times the budget of Hearts and Hibs, and if they get drawn with one of them, then, you know, you're pretty much fucked. So it's a luck of the draw. We'll have to wait and see, but at least we have all 5 teams remaining. No casualties at the moment, but last week's result for Hibs was definitely a flesh wound because it was bad and it should never have happened. Anyway, guys, so Scotland TV. I'll catch you in the next one. Yes, I do support Scottish teams in Europe. Imagine that, yeah. I know some people can't grasp that, but no, believe it or not, I actually want Scotland to do well in Europe. How well, I'm not too sure, but at least win the first fucking couple of qualifying games, then we can talk about it later down the line. Anyway, guys, catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.